Hey, what's up, guys? So, the previews for God of War Ragnarok officially dropped earlier today. And for those of you who watched my last video, I told you guys that I would try not to make a video talking about this because I wanted to try and avoid it. But as usual, I failed and I pretty much read everything that everyone had to say about this game. And don't worry, there's no spoilers for the story. They pretty much just talk about the gameplay and the graphics and stuff like that. And so yeah, pretty much everyone, actually not even pretty much, literally every single person that I've listened to or read that have talked about their impressions for the game, I have not heard a single bad thing at all. It's nothing but amazing things. You know, and honestly, I didn't think it was possible to be any more excited for this game, but after reading these impressions, I'm somehow even more excited for this game. So pretty much everyone that has played the game right now has only been able to play the first like 4 or 5 hours of the game. Pretty much everyone is saying that it's better than God of War 2018 in every single way possible. So that's obviously very, very exciting to hear. You know, now this isn't a spoiler because PlayStation themselves actually this morning put out a tweet about it, and they said that apparently early on in the game that we will be fighting Thor. Now, I mean, they don't say exactly when, they just say early. So if you put two and two together, that people have been playing the first like 4 or 5 hours, it's safe to assume that within the first 4 or 5 hours, we will be fighting Thor for the first time. Now, obviously, that's not going to be the only time that we fight Thor. I mean, it could, but there's no way. Like, we're obviously going to fight Thor more than once. I mean, in God of War 2018, we fought Baldur like twice. So, I mean, Thor, I'm pretty sure we're going to get at least 2 cracks at him. And I've heard that people were crying after the first hour, and that just the relationship between Kratos and Atreus is very satisfying. And just like the writing is really, really good. That's pretty much the gist of what everyone's saying about the story without spoiling anything. When it comes to the combat, everyone's saying that the combat is an improvement on God of War 2018. It's pretty much the same, but it has a lot more bells and whistles, like a lot more things you can do, you know. And I don't know why a lot of people, whenever it comes to sequels, whether it's movies or video games, like there's a certain section of people that are like, you know, the sequel has to be completely different than the original or the predecessor. I mean, if it's not broke, then you don't fix it, you know. I mean, that's just common sense. I mean, me personally, if we found out that the gameplay for God of War Ragnarok was the exact same as God of War 2018 and there was nothing new, I mean, of course that would be very disappointing. But honestly, I've been saying this for a long time now. The most excited thing that I'm just ready to see what happens in God of War Ragnarok is the story. I want to see what happens to these characters, to the new characters. So yeah, I mean, God of War 2018's gameplay is some of the best that we've ever seen in gaming. So honestly, that's nothing but good news to me, hearing that it's that gameplay, but it's better. And obviously, I mean, graphically, like they also put out new screenshots today from like the different realms, and it looks absolutely insanely good. And there was also some person, this guy, I believe he's a journalist at VGC, and he put out like this thing about God of War Ragnarok, and he was saying that he was playing it on like his big LG OLED TV, and it like graphically it looks like a PlayStation 6 game. Yeah, but that also leads into the next thing I want to talk about when it comes to God of War Ragnarok, because it's been confirmed today as well that God of War Ragnarok is going to support 120 FPS. So we're going to be reading from PlayStation Universe, where it says, God of War Ragnarok graphics modes revealed, HDMI 2.1 allows up to 120 FPS. Fresh on the heels of our God of War Ragnarok preview comes details on the graphics modes for Sony Santa Monica Studios' upcoming sequel, and there's good news for those with HDMI 2.1 TVs, as you will get to push the game further. God of War Ragnarok will feature a number of performance modes that prioritize both frame rate and resolution. Although it's not just limited to the standard 30 FPS or 60 FPS options, HDMI 2.1 users will be able to take advantage of up to 120 FPS. And then they actually put out the full list, so there's actually 4 different options you can choose from when you play the game. So the 2 standard ones, obviously it's native 4K 30 FPS locked, and then the performance mode is 1080p 60 FPS locked. But there's also two new ones if you have a HDMI 2.1 compatible TV. So for that, when it comes to resolution, it'll be native 4K 40 FPS locked, so it's a little bit better frame rates. But if you choose to play on performance mode with the HDMI 2.1 TV, then you can play 1080p and up to 120 FPS. A lot of people that are playing this game already are saying that even playing this game at 60 FPS, like the gameplay is very, very smooth. I can't even imagine playing this game at 120 FPS, especially with how good the game looks graphically. You know, like I really feel like Santa Monica has knocked it out of the park with this game. And, you know, we're only like a couple weeks away from launch now. I really thought I was going to try my best to avoid all this news, but honestly, I just couldn't. I just was so curious to see what the first impressions were. And also, one thing when it comes to like the people that have already played this game so far, you know, they're saying they're like 4 or 5 hours in, but it feels like they've barely scratched the surface. Like there's so much more to do. And honestly, like I'm starting to get more excited for this game than maybe even The Last of Us Part 2. Maybe that's just me in the heat of the moment just saying that, but I literally cannot wait for this game. And so yeah, guys, what do you guys think? Down below, let me know your thoughts on the first impressions for God of War Ragnarok. Does it get you more excited? And also let me know if you're going to be playing this game in performance mode or resolution mode. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I really appreciate it. If you enjoyed it or found it informative, drop it a like and hit the subscribe button by turning on the post notification bell so you don't miss my next upload. Until next time, guys, take care.